Hi everyone, welcome back and welcome to my May and June roundup. I'm going to be doing it ranking style again. I'm really happy you guys are enjoying this format. I really like it too. I like seeing all of the products all at once and it's fun and interactive. It just does something for my brain. But as always, I gather up all of the newer products I tried out over the course of the last 2 months in this scenario, and I give you my more solidified opinions on all of them after being able to try them out and test them out with other products for a longer period of time. There's going to be a few products that are going to be pushed to the next roundup, like the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Skin Sheer Glow Tint, the Rhode blushes, and the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I didn't feel like I had solidified thoughts on them yet. I still need to try them out. I just didn't feel confident in my thoughts about them yet, so those will be pushed. But otherwise, let's get into the roundup. So here are all of the categories for today's video. They're the same as last month, but let's just quickly go through them. So up top is where I'm going to feature the product that wowed me the most. My favorite product, the one that's just most near and dear to me that I've just been obsessing over. So that will be featured there at the end of the video. Then we have my favorite products and the products I would recommend to you the most. So these ones are either really unique or they're just such a good formula. I think your money will be well spent in this category. Then below that, we have the products that I really like and that are in my rotation. They just may have not met my favorite status yet for one reason or another, which I will discuss in those scenarios. Then below that, we have the didn't work for me, but it might for you. There might be qualities about the product that I personally do not enjoy, but maybe it's something that you look for in a product, or maybe it just simply didn't work for my specific skin type, which is oily combo, acne prone, by the way. And then below that we have, it's a good formula, but ... So there may be a few things that I want you to know about. Then we have the products that are just meh, so the ones that I found unremarkable or just aren't special or just very forgettable. And then the last category is steer clear of, which I want you guys to save your money on this section. Do not go near this section. So now let's start sorting them all. So the first product we have up on the sorting block is the new Makeup by Mario Softsculpt Bronzing and Shaping Serum. I was so excited about this product because we all know how obsessed I am with the Transforming Skin Enhancer. I just could not wait for like a liquid version. And for the most part, it is, but it also isn't. The color isn't as good as the enhancer. I'm gonna get confused with the names here, but I'm going to try my best. I was left feeling disappointed after my first couple uses with this. It doesn't lay as well on my skin as the skin enhancer does. I found it to be a little bit patchy. It just didn't look the smoothest or as beautiful, but through trying it out and really giving it a good chance, I actually really enjoy it on my bare skin. If I'm not wearing any foundation, it just looks like a natural little bronze. It's very nice and sheer. Or the way I like to use it the most now is kind of as a bronzing drop situation. So I'll just spread a little bit all over my face just to make me look nice and bronzed, and it actually wears beautifully that way, and products layer on top of it really nicely. I like it because it doesn't have as big of a shimmer as some other bronzing drops do. This is mostly like just a flat color with a little bit of a sheen. It's like a tiny pearl, but it's nothing like a classic bronzing drop situation like we're used to seeing now. So for me, this product, I feel like it suits it's in the rotation because I'm becoming more and more fond of it as I'm discovering new ways to use it and not just as a classic bronzer. And it's cool because if you scroll the cap off, there's a little doe foot, or you can take this cap off here and you can squirt it out like so. There's a little hole in the doe foot. It's like right in the middle here. I almost went like this. See it, guys? No, right here. I like how I said I almost did this and I continued to do it. So upsay. Oh no. Oh no. There's been a lot of bronzers lately. So the next one is the Well People Bio Bronzing Priming Serum. And I took a second to swatch them next to some other bronzing drops I have. So this one right here is the Well People one. Beside that is the Makeup by Mario. Then we have the e.l.f. bronzing drops and then the First Aid Beauty ones. Sorry, I didn't account for my arm to be so twisted. But here's a visual of all of them. What I really like about it is how golden it is, but it also has like a really nice undertone. Sometimes I find that these ones are too warm, these are too red, and sometimes I want more of like a shimmery effect instead of like a serum-y effect. The Well People ones have become the one I gravitate towards automatically. Like just mindlessly, I'll grab this in my little section where all my bronzing drops live. I just really like its texture. I find it easy to blend out. You have a good amount of working time, and I really like how it dries down to this tackier texture, so it feels like an actually good makeup primer, and it is. Everything wears on top of it really well, and I just really like how even and bronzy it makes my base. It's perfect for the summertime. I would say it's not extremely pigmented, nor is it too sheer. It's just like a perfectly pigmented product that it's going to just bronze you up perfectly, exactly what you'd want from this type of product. I would say that this one, just because of the amount of times I reach for this, just completely mindlessly, it's going to be in my favorites for sure. I think it's starting to climb its way up to my fave. Next up, we've got the SAIE bronzers, and I've got a lot to say about these because they are fantastic. They are so gorgeous to work with. The tones are absolutely perfect. I noticed today that they actually brought out a contour shade too. I'm really interested in seeing that in person, and then I'll think about buying it, but the tones are so good. Okay, so I have two shades. I have been using Sand, but sometimes I add a little bit of the shade Swim just to amp up the bronze, but you can just see how nice of a tone this is. It's like a perfect bronzing color with a little bit of a neutral tone to it, so it's not too warming. The texture is really, really rich and serumy, gel-like, just like the Dew blushes, if you're familiar with that texture. I would just say that these are thicker in comparison. The blushes tend to be a little bit silkier, more liquidy, which is good for a bronzer because that's going to be living on the outskirts of your face instead of kind of in the center where blush lives. So it's really nice and long wearing too for this type of formula. It's not too dewy that it feels sticky or tacky or any of that. My hair doesn't feel like it gets stuck in it whatsoever. Really easy to work with. And why I love it so much is because it looks like a more intense version of the Makeup by Mario Softsculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer, and enough said about that. So this one for sure is living in my favorites and most recommended. I'm going to be talking about the next two kind of in the same breath because they're the same formula, just one's a blush, one's a bronzer. So these are the RMS Beauty Redimension Hydra Bronzer and Hydra Powder Blushes. The bronzer is immaculate. So it looks very intense and shimmery and metallic in the pan. This is the bronzer I'm wearing all over my face today. I'm not wearing another bronzer in combination. I just find this color tan lines to be so flattering against my skin tone, and it doesn't look really metallic on my skin like it does in the pan. It's truly hydrated. It feels a little jelly-like as powders go. It just melts into the skin so gorgeously, adds such a nice summery warmth and glow. It's super easy to work with. It's been one of my most reach for products of the month for sure. I just can't get enough of it. And the shade that I have in the blush is Maidens blush, and it's a really nice bronzy kind of sunburnt shade, and these two products together just look so good. I'll try to blend them into one another in my hand swatch here. They just marry into one another just flawlessly. I just love how cohesive the sheen is. Oh, it just looks so good. I can't say enough good things. I want to collect more of these blushes, and it's fun because you can get refills of them. So you could potentially get just the refills and put them in like a metallic pan if you wanted to. I don't know. I'm just so excited about these. I have definitely gravitated more towards the bronzer just because I like to switch up the tone of my blush pretty much on a daily basis. So I reach for the bronzer more, but both of these are going to my favorites for sure. My heart rate feels like it just went up talking about those. Now we've got a lot of blushes this month. Hey, wow. We have the KOSAS Blushes Life collection, and they're so right for that because blush is my life. This collection was beautiful. I love this one dearly. I think they have some really, really pretty colors. I took a second to swatch my three favorites, the ones I use the most. So right here is Euphoria, really nice pinky berry color. Then we have Dreamland, which is a nice brownish peachy kind of everyday color that would suit anything. And then Butterflies, which is a really hot, cool pink. I'm wearing a touch of it today, kind of as like a glow enhancer. These are so fun. I love a baked blush formula. I love how airy they are to apply. They're very seamless and airbrush looking, but they offer a really dimensional glow because of the little pearl they have, and I think they're very flattering. There's only one color out of the whole line that I was disappointed by, and it's the shade Swoon. That one has super chunky glitter in it, which is too bad because the base color is so gorgeous, but besides the colors, it doesn't seem to be like that much of a unique product to me. I feel like they're very similar similar to the Cosmetics Heaven's Glow blushes or the Essence Baked blushes or any other baked blush out there. To me, it's the tones that make me so excited about that, but that's my personal preference. But either way, I don't think you'd be disappointed in this product. I don't feel like they're in favorites zone. I think they're still in the rotation, but they don't belong anywhere else under that, that's for sure. We've got some more blush. There's quite a few blushes in today's video. We've got the Nabla Close-Up Blurring Powder Blushes. I actually filmed swatching reels, so you can watch that on my channel if you want to see all of these swatched on my cheeks against my skin tone. I quickly swatched my top 3 in this formula. So we have Endorphin, which is the red one. The middle one is the one I'm wearing on my cheeks as well as my lips today, pressed into my lipstick. It's the shade Lucky Rose. It's a really pretty, vibrant pink. And then we have Enigma, which is a really cute mauvey berry color. So these are super silky in their texture. They feel, when you swatch it, it just feels like you're swatching a translucent powder. It is very, very soft, finely milled, just very airy and nice. They are truly super, super blurring, which I love. That's one of my favorite qualities you can find in any product. They're really easy to control as well. They start off sheer, but you can build them up quite a bit, which is a lovely quality. They are really similar to the Dior Rosy Blushes. Is that what they're called? Yeah, the Rosy Glow blushes, these ones here. But I would say even more refined and soft. These feel like they have a little bit of a grip to them, like a little bit of a hydrated feel. These are super blurring, but I would say that these are maybe the most blurring blushes I've ever tried. And because they're a powder, they're super long wearing, they're stunning. I have nothing but good things to talk to you guys about them, so they're going in my favorites for sure. Now we've got the last blush of the day, which are the new Huda Beauty blush filters. These are really cute, very easy to work with too. So these are really nice liquid blushes. My favorite shade is Strawberry Cream, and these were marketed as kind of blurring blushes that also added a ton of glow. And I would say, yeah, for a liquid blush, they're very blurring. They almost set down to like a powdery looking state, which is cool. I really like working with these. They're very easy and user-friendly to use. Unlike a lot of other liquid blushes like the Rare Beauty ones or the newer e.l.f. liquid blushes, these are very pigmented, but they're not so pigmented that you're going to get yourself in trouble. Like, they're easy to take down and control. I love them. They're just so great. I should really do a little swatching reels of all of the colors. I haven't done that yet, I forgot. It's really interesting because I feel like it shouldn't be as softening and blurring as it is, because it does have a really, really fine pearl in it. But once it's on your cheeks, it just does. It looks like a perfect little filter. They're named so perfectly. I would say that I reach for the Nabla ones a little bit more than these, but I'm sure if I went in with one of these first and a Nabla one on top, that would create a gorgeous combo. I'm going to have to try that tomorrow, but I think that these are going to go into the rotation. The sun is starting to come into my office. I got way too hot. So now we've got the Patrick Ta Major Glow Cream and Powder Light Reflecting Highlighter Duos. I love the blushes. We all know that. They're so good, but I kind of feel the complete opposite towards these highlighters. They're just everything I dislike in a highlight, unfortunately. So the cream side is a super balmy, sheer, glossy highlight with quite a bit of glitter mixed in there. So see, it's very, very dewy, very sticky. And then the powder side is really nice and sheer. I really like that quality about it, but it's so glittery and it's more apparent in some shades than others. There's some that are a little bit more satiny in comparison, but overall very, very glittery, which some people are really about that lately. Like, some people love the super glittery cheek look. Sometimes I like it if it's for a specific look, but for day-to-day use, it's something I actively avoid. So he suggests to apply it just like his blushes. So the powder first, then dab on the cream on top. I have not had luck with that technique whatsoever, not with my finger, not with a sponge, not with a brush. I tried it all, and every single time, whenever I add the glossy highlight, the cream side, it eats away at my base. It completely destroys it. Everything starts separating and it just looks really bad. Honestly, these have some redeeming qualities, so I wouldn't say completely steer clear of them. Where should I place this? I don't like how the balm eats away at my makeup. I was initially going to put it in the didn't work for me, but it may work for you. It's not so dramatic that you need to steer clear of them, so I think they're gonna go into meh. Yeah. they're going to go into meh for me. I'm sorry, Patrick. Please don't see this one. Look at all the videos. I rave about your blushes and everything else, please. Now we've got the Dior Forever Glow Star Filter. This was featured in my top 10 favorite highlights, so I feel like we all know where that's going to go. This is kind of a glow booster situation, so it's really, really nice and sheer, but it's so impactful, and you can mix it in with other products like your foundation or your blushes just to get a fun effect. But this on its own is a showstopper. It adds such a gorgeous glassy looking dewy glow without feeling super gross. It has such a flattering fine pearl that just reflects in such a gorgeous way. It's very ethereal looking and it blends into your makeup gorgeously. It's such a nice gel cream that's so silky like, and it's easy to work with, very user friendly. Like, it doesn't negatively impact anything else that I've already had on my face. It's just great. It's fantastic. It's going to my favorites for sure. Up next is the new Clinique High Impact Mascara in Black Honey. I was beyond excited to have a Black Honey mascara, but unfortunately the formula, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't keep the curl in my lashes. It also smudged on me the day I wore it, and the shade itself isn't light enough to look that different from a black mascara, so I didn't find this one to be special at all. This one's going to go in the meh. Now we've got a couple complexion products. We've got the YSL All Hours Precise Angles Concealer. So I love the All Hours foundation from YSL. It's one of my top favorites. It's such a gorgeous product. Same with this. I just feel like it's not unique enough, or it feels like a lot of other concealers that I previously have had a lot more history with. So I think of those ones before I think of this one, if that makes sense. It is a type of concealer that I am drawn to. It's one of those ones that have a really thin consistency and it kind of sets in nice, like a skin-like finish. So it's a little bit matte, a little bit shiny too. You know, it's just like that perfect midpoint. I think it's quite flattering, very easy to build as well. Like, it's a really good concealer. I just have found as the months have gone on, I don't reach for it as much as I thought I would, like I do with the foundation. But with that being said, she's still in the rotation. I do really enjoy it. I think there's a lot of potential for me to like grow on it the more I have it in my collection. Yeah, she's going to go into the rotation. We've got the Shiseido Self-Refreshing Concealer, and this is the concealer that's kind of been the underdog. It's the one I've been reaching for nonstop. Shiseido has really awesome base products. Oh my goodness, have I ever been impressed by this. It's super thin, very serumy, really nice to work with, super creamy, glorious to work with, but it acts like a super thick, full coverage concealer would, but it feels like a really natural leaning concealer. It's really cool. It does it all, and it looks amazing all day under my eyes. I don't know what the self-refreshing science is behind this, but it actually works and it's gorgeous. So this one is going into my favorites for sure. Now we have the ILIA foundation stick, and I did not have a good experience with this one, unfortunately. I'm going to blame my skin type. I don't think it got along well with my oilier skin. I found it to really break up and kind of separate in my oilier areas, and it would just kind of gather up together, like it wanted to become one stick again on my face. Like, it just did not want to stay where I wanted it to be. So for me, I feel like potentially it could work for somebody else, so I'm going to stick this one in. Didn't work for me, but it might for you. Now we've got the Shiseido Revitalessence Skin Glow Foundation. Oh, I had this in my collection for so many months, but it was such a dark color. It matches me when I'm at my tannest point. It's a pretty dark shade right now, but I want to pick up a lighter color because this formula is so dreamy. It's such a thin, serumy texture. Like, it actually feels like a true face serum. Very silky, very hydrating, but it doesn't stay that on your face. It feels like you're not wearing anything, which is one of my favorite qualities a foundation can have. I hate when I feel like I'm wearing a mask of makeup. It has such a good amount of coverage for how natural it looks. It does have like a little bit of a glow booster to it, but it's not like a really visible pearl. It just looks super glassy. It's almost like I made a little mix of a gorgeous foundation with the Dior. It's kind of what I'm feeling. I would put this in the realm of like the Makeup by Mario foundation, just a lot more dreamy. It's so comfortable. It wears so well. The coverage level is so gorgeous for every day. You can glam it up if you want to. Just the overall look of this is fantastic. It's glorious. It truly is. So this one's going in my favorites right away. Now we've got the Clinique Black Honey Lip Oil. So I feel like I'm just a little lip oiled, lip glossed out lately. So I feel like that's really affecting me. I can't be wowed by them much anymore. Like, I love a glossy lip. That's what I use every single day, but I feel like I've just been overwhelmed with the launches this past year. Like, we've just been getting nonstop glosses and oils and all of that. Black Honey Honey is one of my favorite colors to wear, but I think I'm kind of good. Like I really enjoy the Almost lipstick for more of like a sheer balmy look, and the gloss is incredible if I want more of a dramatic glossy look. I don't know. This one just, it didn't wow me as much, but I think that's just my personal thoughts right now because I'm glossed out. So I'm going to put those thoughts aside and talk about the actual formula for a second. I'm swatching it next to the gloss and the Almost lipstick so you can get a good visual here. So we've got the lip oil, so you can see it's finished, really nice and shiny. Then we have the Almost lipstick, so a classic balm-like texture, and then the gloss, which you can see is kind of more of a lacquered kind of classic gloss. I like the oil, how it's kind of sitting in the middle of these two opacities here. It's more pigmented than the Almost lipstick, but not as quite dramatic as the gloss. So I think that's kind of a fun thing to have. Like they're not all completely the same. The texture of the oil is nice. It's pretty typical, a little bit more of a slippery type oil. It doesn't have like a good tack like the Dior or the Elf lip oil. So I find that this one does disappear on me quite quickly. It doesn't have as long wearing capabilities as these two. So for me, I'm going to place it in the, I feel mean to put it here, but it's just where my gut's telling me to put it. Am I still going to use it? Yes, I'll probably use it a lot in the fall time when I whip these out a lot. Now we have the Half Magic Beauty Lip Snuggles. Such a cute name. Oh my goodness. So these are cute. They have a really fun applicator. It's nice and fuzzy, so it feels really fun when you're applying it. Really nice and snuggly, I guess. I just didn't really like the colors that they came out with, but the formula itself is really impressive for this type of oil balm. It's very opaque, very pigmented, even with the darkest color that I have in my personal collection here. It's very impressive. It doesn't separate or like fall into my lip lines at all. Very cool formula. I just wish that they had a different set of colors. Then I think I'd be really obsessed with these ones. But again, that's just my specific tastes. I think this is a good product, but for me, I'm going to do, it didn't work for me, but it might for you for sure. Now we've got the Sacheu lip stains, and oh my goodness, have these ever blown me away. I feel like I've been talking about these a lot recently. They're so fun. They're such good lip stains. I like to use them as lip liners or as a full-on lip stain, of course. Sometimes I'll do one shade as the lip liner and the other as the middle color, and that creates something really pretty. Although I don't know if I really like the specific combo I did in my B-roll shots today, so sorry about that. But hopefully you could get a better visual on the 3 swatches I did on my hand. But these are really nice. They stain pretty evenly for a lip stain, and they last so long. I just love everything about these. These are definitely going in my favorites very quickly. Now it's time to talk about the ILIA lip sketches. So these are lip crayons. You can use them as lip liners or as a satin lipstick. They have a pretty good formula, a nice range of colors. Like they have really, really pretty reds in a variety of undertones, like cool, warm. They have it all for like classic lipstick colors. I am already going to place it in the good formula, but because the caps do not stay on whatsoever. Even if you like press really, really hard, they pop off so quickly and very easily, like just by one little nudge. So I would not trust to travel with this or put them in my makeup bag. Another thing is I don't really like using these as lip liners. They don't have a really good formula to like keep your lip combo on. They disappear quite quickly. They're very satiny, like a nice satin lipstick. So they don't have the longevity that you need for a lip liner. But as an all over lipstick, I think these are really nice. They feel really rich and like a good lipstick formula. It needs to keep its cap on. We can't be having it color the inside of our purses or our makeup bags or God forbid our pants or something. Now we've got the Armani Prisma Glass lip glosses. So these are really pretty. I just find that they're like 1 in a million formulas out there, and all of them tend to look very similar to one another on my lips. Like some of these darker colors and stuff, they all have the same kind of sheer effect. They do feel really nice. They almost feel like a mixture of like a gloss and a lip oil. It has a really nice lip and mouth feel. Like I do really enjoy rubbing my lips together when I'm wearing one of them. I kind of want to put a little bit on now that I'm talking about it. I'm putting on the clear one. Yeah, they feel really nice and dewy, but I feel like there's so many glosses like that. It's really up to you with how you feel, but for me, I feel like there's other glosses I would recommend over it, so it's going there. Good formula. But second to last, we have the Clinique satin lipsticks. The packaging is so freaking pretty. I love looking at it. Like it's so fun for me. And the colors are really nice. They just feel like a classic satin lipstick. They have pretty good pigmentation, average wear time for a bullet lipstick. They have so many colors too. I only have 4 on hand. The first one was Icon Pop. The pink one that I just swatched was Peony Pop. This is Melon Pop, just like a really cute peach. I think my favorite out of the 4 I have. And this last one is the one I used in my B-roll footage. It's Punch Pop. So it's a really bright fuchsia pink, which is pretty. So I'd say that these are a really good formula. There's just nothing that fancy about them, so I'm going to put them in the good formula. And then lastly, we've got the Melt Cosmetics Smoke Sessions 2 palette. This is a really pretty purple palette. At first, I wasn't completely in love with it. I think the first Smoke Sessions palette really blew me away. Like the color story was so fun for me. With the grungy greens, I was just looking for grungy greens and the really beautiful teals. I like how it was like a split palette. It was just really fun to construct some cool looks. But with this one, I feel like there's a few things missing for me. Some of the purples in this palette look very similar when they're swatched on your skin. They just have a little bit of a different shift, but even then it's like barely noticeable, the difference between some of them. It just didn't feel as complete of a palette to me as others, but to have this one on hand to create a fun look once in a while, I think will be really fun. There are some really pretty dramatic dimensional colors in here, like these ones. Yes, Ren, it's almost cuddle time. He hates when I work, it's so funny. So overall, I find this palette to be fine. I think the formula is good and cohesive between the shades. They have good performance. They're pretty easy to use and blend. So I guess I'm going to put this one in the good formula but section. I'm going to for sure use it when I want to do some funky looks for maybe some shop my stashes and stuff. So yeah, I think it's going to live there. I think that's right. I'm just looking over everything just to make sure I feel okay with this. But now it's time to reveal the product of the month, and I honestly think there's going to be 2 products of the month this month, if that's okay with y'all. It's going to have to be because this is my channel. I can do whatever I want. So the product of the month for sure, the Sacheu lip stains and the Redimension bronzer. And I guess the blush. I just think of those as the same product, just different colors, okay? So those are my products of the month. And there's another roundup done. That's crazy. I think I'm going to continue doing these bi-monthly just so that we have a bigger group of products so it's a little bit more entertaining and I'll have more time with a lot of the products. So I think it'll just benefit us. Let me know though. Let me know if you'd rather monthly or bi-monthly. I'll listen to you guys. But that's going to be all from me. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I'll have everything I talked about listed and linked in the description box down below, so feel free to check that out, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!